Good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to the Progressive. Today we are talking about planning, goals, objectives, resourcing, and execution. Now, planning, there's even courses, there is certification like PMP, etc. etc. You can do a lots of certifications and all that. This is to give a general view of planning of your activities, personal activities. I've seen this one thing among planners. They're very good at planning for other things or other people, but they're never good at planning for themselves. Ironical, I know, but yeah, facts, right? So you might want to take a tip of what to plan. How does it work? Don't worry about this. This current will come back shortly. This is power fluctuation over in this place. Work from home, people. So general rules of planning, what it means to plan, what to take care of, do's and don'ts, and tips. These are basically tips to manage your work environment better for you. Okay? So leave your comments and share it with your friends. If you want me to do a presentation for you at work, I can come and do it. So let's start with the next one. This morning, planning. Next two ones, planning and organizing, split it into two here, is more of an administrative task. One needs to do this as a matter of routine, develop a certain kind of work pattern with respect to planning and with respect to organizing, so you can get some structure around your tasks, around your work schedules, around your creativity, around whatever you need to produce, to feel a sense of joy, to feel a sense of purpose. Again, this is related more to your daily work. I don't talk about career because it's a misnomer and it's a misunderstanding. One doesn't live for a career, one lives for the daily work. Every morning you get up and you plan. So this is part of that. So we're talking about three aspects over here in terms of planning, and the next podcast will focus on organizing. So planning. So what are we going to talk about here? Planning short and long-term objectives and goals. Planning, prioritizing, resourcing, and execution. Planning in terms of time management and creating routine procedures in your daily tasks and work, whatever you're here to do. So planning short-term goals and objectives. Let's go briefly through each one of them. A good plan is always clear objectives established first, what you wish to achieve at the end of actions or exercise. Most people don't even begin this way. You need to think about the direction that you're moving before you start the process. It will help you establish a structure from point A to point B. This is a good plan, essence of a good planning. The objective may be to get an understanding of the task finished. It varies, but your objective should be clear. Planning is always a beginning activity necessary to accomplish this. No matter how short your tasks are, always plan first. No matter how complicated the long-term goals are, break it down into short steps, goals, objectives on a daily basis. Short-term goals and objectives are those which pertain to a day, a month, or 6 months. They are based around your set of objectives. Objectives at work will be typically given to you by a team leader or a task force leader or something, or your boss or something. Short-term objectives we speak of are those that you make for yourself, your growth, your learning, implementation of those. Now, if you're somebody who is already in some kind of a leadership position, you need to plan for your team as well, whoever is working with you. Short-term goals and objectives, daily work plan. You can split this into, first is daily work plan. Create this every single day. What do you plan to do that day? It's a daily work plan. It's a to-do list and a goal for each. Yeah, lend a goal to everything. Let it be sending a correspondence, email, task, meeting, anything. It can be anything, really. Divide your daily work plan into core tasks and correspondence. This is important when you're especially in the service industry of any kind. For the service industry, it's divided into two portions. The core work, your discipline work. As a disciplined person, whatever you do as a core discipline work. And then there's the correspondence, email, checking, replying, sending, planning for the next day. People have smartphones these days. You can use a cell phone built-in app for activity reminder organizers. We use as much as possible reminders for every day. This way you won't forget, because sometimes you remember after work. Oh, I needed to do this. Immediately note it as a reminder for your next day. And forget about it, so you can carry on your personal life. You're not disturbing your personal life, yet you have made a note of it. It didn't escape you. Always plan for core tasks in the first half of the days. I found it practically very, very useful. Morning time is the most fresh time for the brain. You had your night's rest and you're ready for the next day. So core tasks, your discipline tasks should be planned, which require a lot of mental activity and brain activity. First plan it for the first half of the day, pre-lunch, if you will, since you're more fresh. And keep administrative tasks, the sending emails and stuff like that. You can send it, collaboration, discussion, meetings, to the second half of the day, after lunch. Short-term goals and objectives should be doable. Some pointers here, I'll not read everything, but it's pretty much common sense if you go through it. Make practical plans, not a wish list of everything. This is very common, especially if you're a leader reading this or listening to this. People make wish lists of everything to be accomplished. You're not here with a magic wand. Make a plan which is doable. Your short-term goal should also have a career growth plan. How you plan to learn and grow in your professional, reading books, articles, etc., etc. Planning should also focus on prioritizing. So, how do you prioritize? Means to determine what the order you're going to deal with. What comes first, what comes second, third, fourth, etc. If there are 5 tasks, you have to list it in the order you're going to do them or execute. This includes even correspondence. Not all correspondence needs to be addressed now. Some need to be done now, some later. So prioritize. Priority may depend upon the urgency of tasks. Some reports, some work is needed now. Some may be later. So urgency. Priority may depend on the sequence of tasks to be achieved by you. If you're waiting on some other person for the data to be done by you, you need to prioritize that way. That comes later in the sequence, because the other disciplines have to do something else before you receive that information, right? Priorities may also depend on what information, data, activities you do. The colleagues in your team depend on you to provide, as in you might be giving something to somebody else as an outcome of your work. If you're working as a part of the team or department, so remember that portion. Priorities play a key role within planning, since what you do is always greater than the energy in the day, okay, compared to what you do next. Always remember this, your freshness, your mental, physical, emotional awareness, sharpness best during the morning, and it fades through the day. Most people don't take cognizance of this. Keeping in mind that always prioritize carefully. The morning task should be always ones which require your most clear mind, clear thinking, because your mind is well rested. Resourcing refers to gathering whatever you need to work your progress. Maybe anything relating to your stationery, to computer resources, access to information, or even input from others. Resourcing may also pertain to people. What kind of people you need on your team, if you're a team leader. One of the key reasons inaccuracies within your core work would be lack of resources. This is a constant complaint by many people, especially the team leaders and the managers. Resources required for a project, your job, your skill, right people. Everybody wants the right person. Nobody is willing to work with whatever they've got. However, the strength and the number of team members and internal, external, everything, it's useful for you to know. The planning the resources you need before you actually get started on a task in a day is necessary. Like we said before, an important aspect very neglected often is the use of right stationery at work. Use highlighters, markers to important data and documents. Get good at this. Use your smartphone for reminders and tasks. Get good at that. Use Outlook or Notes, as the case may be, to schedule reminders. So you need to plan your own activities daily in this way. Next comes execution. Execution refers to actually starting the work. You may have 20 tasks to be done, yet with resources available at the moment, you may be able to only begin 5. Start with the 5 first. Don't get anal about starting all the 20 or moan about it. Planning for execution is dictated by external targets. Whatever your clients are dependent upon. If you're a salesperson, it's dependent on the external world a lot. Planning your execution also pertains to preparing for meetings and discussions. Do you have all points? People send meeting requests these days, especially when everybody is quarantined at the time of making this and working from home. Meeting requests and 5 minutes notice without an agenda. That's ridiculous. If you want to have a meeting, have a proper agenda. Who's to speak what? Time management. Time management also refers to the act of managing and allocating your time spent in a day. How much time do you wish to allocate? Don't spend endlessly worrying about something while doing a task. It's very easy for this. This is more common than you think. People tend to worry and start composing emails in the beginning of the day. It doesn't work. You need to plan your activities first. Take time at work. Your time between work will always be split between your core and your tasks and interactive work, that is emails, correspondences, meetings, etc. Time management is also about using your time in a smart way, having conscious control over time you're spending in any given activities. This is very, very good to know. I keep doing this in my career and it has helped me a lot. You don't change the number of hours of work in a day. You just change your own habitual pattern of working within that time. Everybody has the same 8 or 10 hours, right? This is all commonly told, but how you use that work is up to you. Realize that a lot of time in your day, pockets of time in between minutes or hours, are wasted. Make use of these wasted tasks, hours, and learn what they are and how you can optimize them. What can you do in the idle times? Something else maybe, something creative maybe. Use time management tools on your smartphones. We have already listed all of this. There's some bulleted points. I won't go through each and every one of them. Routine tasks. So, some pointers regarding routine tasks. How do you plan your routine tasks today? These are very good practical ones which I use, and it has always helped in my career. Trust me, using the word career. So, it's helped me in my work, in my daily work.